Today we're going to be looking at some besties who weren't really your bestie. Moral of the story, if you've got friends, always keep an eye out because you don't know who's a real friend or a fake friend.
Did you ever have a time where you realized a good friend wasn't actually your friend?
Yes, I did. When I was in college, I knew this chick. Her name was Megan. And when I first got to the new school I was going to, when I transferred, she immediately stepped in, made herself my friend, positioned herself in my life on purpose. And I was excited because no one else liked me and I couldn't figure out why. Like, I'm a nice person, you know? I don't smell weird. I shower, you know? Couldn't make any friends.
I've sort of been in a similar situation, not with school, but like online. Usually if someone is very eager to be your friend, either they really like you or there's something that they can get out of you. And I've got a feeling this Megan girl wasn't being your friend for the right reasons.
So, you know, she's like coming over my house all the time, hanging out, and like we walked to class together and all this stuff. She's the only person that will talk to me. I'm in choir and like no one in the choir will talk to me. I'm getting like skirted around for opportunities, which I thought was weird because, let's be honest, I was the best singer at the school. I transferred from a conservatory. This was like a state school. And I wasn't getting chosen for like, you know, the big choir. Come to find out, she had been actively working against me the entire time, telling people that I was doing drugs, that I was like going out to bars and getting hammered all the time, telling people I was a massive that I was cheating on my boyfriend and all this crazy, like just crazy rumors, high school bullshit. And it really all came to a head when she came over to my house one night. She brought a box of Franzia and got pretty drunk. And then she took me across town when I was already extremely inebriated and left me at a frat party. And then told everyone about how funny it was and what a giant piece of it was, what a scam. Told everyone about it. I got picked up by the cops because I was so drunk I couldn't stand. Because she had been feeding me alcohol all night. And then she left me there. And she took my phone. So I ended up in the drunk tank without a phone, no way to contact anybody. $1,000 medical bill from the hospital for them having to IV me. And yeah. So what did I do, naturally? At the time I was incredibly petty, so I ruined her life.
I mean, do you want to know something? I hope you got your karma, because why? Just why? W-H-Y? Why would somebody pretend to be your friend and then do that to you? And also, you know that rumors thing, I've noticed that a lot. A lot of the times rumors start because of your friends. Usually because they're chatting about you. That's why I don't tell anyone anything. You know, if something's going on in my life, I keep it to myself. I don't even tell my best friend. Obviously, I know she wouldn't, you know, go and tell people, but it's just the fact that you don't know who your real friends are. We can quite clearly tell that Megan was a fake and horrible friend, but I've got a feeling she was also a school friend. So she's only friendly with you in school. Fast, clingy, too friendly friends are red flags, exactly. It's like they're the type of people you need to stay away from. And it's also just the fact like no one was being your friend, but then she was there. She was just, you know, your friend. And then we eventually found out it's because she was running her mouth behind your back. With friends like that, you don't need enemies, exactly, because then friends are your enemies secretly. You just don't know it yet. Yet again, friends that plot against you, have to stay away from them. Also the fact that, you know, she got you intoxicated and then dropped you and abandoned you. Hello, can we talk about that? That literally could have ended up with you in a coffin. So was she just jealous of you, or did she have some other random nonsensical reason to be this crap? I mean, to be honest, she probably was jealous of you, and because she was jealous of you, she loathed you. Yet again, no normal person does that. Like, I'm telling you, that woman's evil. It's also the fact that she's still living. It's quite weird to think that. It's like, I wonder what her friends have done to her. It's quite clearly that girl has went through trauma.
My senior year of high school, I was still friends with the same 6 people I had known since middle school. So at this point, roughly all of us had been friends for like 6 years. I'll admit that, you know, in a group that large, some people hang out more with others. And I didn't really get to leave my house that much for a very complicated set of reasons. But I still considered every single one of them my friend, and I hung out with them in school every opportunity that I got. If we shared classes, if we shared lunch, you know, socializing as much as I could. Also, I'm pretty sure that some of them now see my content and follow me and watch me. I'm pretty confident, so if you're one of those people, you know who you are, and this is for you, and this is how you hurt me. Senior year, one of my friends out of that group was hosting an after party from prom and also a sleepover, so everyone was going over to her house and staying the night after prom. I found out about this secondhand from one of my other friends in that group that was going and was invited, and so I went and I talked to the girl who was hosting and I said, hey, I didn't get an invite yet, like, is this still a thing that's going on? Can I go? Like, I'm not just gonna insert myself into the situation, I'm gonna ask permission first. And she looks me dead in the eyes and she says, no, you're not invited.
Why?
I was stunned. I didn't know what I had done that was wrong. I didn't know who I had pissed off. I didn't know what I had said. I didn't know what I had, like, why wasn't I invited? Why did I felt intense rejection? In my shock, the only thing I could say to her was, okay, and then I walked away from that conversation. That conversation was kind of a wake-up call that made me think about my relationships with the people in that group, and I realized that at most I was just an acquaintance to them. I had voiced my opinion to other people in the group, and I said, hey, I was really upset that I didn't get an invite, and nobody really said anything along the lines of, yeah, you should have been invited. So that was kind of a key moment for me. So, yeah, I mean, I wish I had just known earlier instead of spending, like, some 4 or 6 odd years thinking that an entire group of people were actually friends with me and not just tolerating my existence.
Yeah, so basically you were viewing them as friends, but they were only viewing you as acquaintances. You know, they knew deep down that they weren't friends with you, but they were just pretending because they wanted someone to be there for them. I've noticed that a lot of situations. That's why I don't really do groups. I just don't like groups because it's kind of like a pyramid effect. You know, there's somebody up at the top, and then there's people below them, and then below them, and usually 3 people at the bottom. I just don't like, you know, groups of lots of people, especially friendship groups, because they just never end good for me. Felt this almost 40, and I'm still always on the outside of friend groups. Anyone who I've ever considered a best friend had a bester friend in me. Yeah, it also kind of sucks whenever, like, the person you think you're best friends with isn't really best friends with you. You know, you're best friends with them, but they're not best friends with you because they've got another best friend. And I'm all for people having multiple best friends, but sometimes it sucks whenever you've got a friend it feels like you like them more than they like you. You know, you value your friendship with them more than they value their friendship with you. When you leave school, you realize people were your friends purely because you spent 5 to 8 hours a day with them. Exactly, they were your school friends, not real friends. I don't speak to anyone from my last school, even though, like, I was friendly with them. That's what it is, friendly and acquaintances. It's like they're friendly with you, but you're not really friends because you can see each other outside of school. That's kind of the same with work friends. It's like, oh, you're friendly in work, you know, you're friends in work. In the outside world, you're not friends. So, like, are you actually really friends, or are you just friendly to each other? This is my fear, but as an adult, friendship takes effort. So I remind myself that if anyone secretly only tolerates me, that's 100% their problem. Yeah, and also you have to keep in mind, like, honestly, being my age and having friends is hard. It's tough. It's why I don't really have any. You know, I've just got me. Like, I'm literally my best friend. Whenever you are your own best friend, it's the best thing ever. It's like you can do stuff by yourself. You want to go somewhere, oh, I'll just take myself because I'm my best friend. Also, something else I'll add is if you have to put in loads of effort for a friendship, is it really worth having that friendship? Because usually friends will get along really easily. A FaceTime call, phone call, a wee text message every so often. You know, if your friendship takes lots of effort and drains you, it's not a friendship.
So this girl on my TikTok came up and she started talking about how you're able to tell if a friend secretly hates you, and it just made me wish I had seen this when it was actually happening to me, because it took me a very long time to notice some signs. But I figured that I would tell you guys my story with somebody and hopefully save somebody from going through what I went through. So in middle school, I had a best friend, and we fell out going into high school because her stepmom had seen me in shorts and just felt that what I was wearing was too short, and I was 13. I didn't think nothing of it. I was at the park. It was hot. It was summer, and she decided that me and her could not hang out because of the way I was dressed. Fine. It is what it is. You're going to listen to your parental figure, right? The thing is, though, that every single time we would talk, she would bring up how her stepmom was saying things about me and all the negative things. And me being me, I've always been super close to my mom. I would tell my mom, like, hey, you know, I spoke to blah, blah, blah. And she told me that her stepmom said this. And it was a range of things, like a range of things. And my mom started to get really upset, and because she was like, I'm not understanding why that is the only topic you tend to bring up to me when it comes to her. Like, if this is your friend, she shouldn't be telling you things that are going to hurt you, you know? So naturally, we fell out. We went to different high schools. It was what it was. Now, fast forward years later, we both enter college, and we start becoming friends again. I hadn't seen her in years, and honestly, she popped up again in my life. And at first, my mom was not happy about that because, honestly, like, she had told me, like, this is not your friend, like, you know, from, like, way back then, because she could just tell. Moms could tell. Always listen to your mom, okay? So I'm like, it's not that deep, and I keep hanging out with her. And this time around, honestly, we're older now. I just wanted to forget, like, all of the things that had happened. At the same time, like, she had popped up in my life basically right when my dad passed away. And it was comforting knowing that, like, this person from my past that knew my dad, you know, like, she was in it again, and she also had went through something similar, like, you know. So it was what it was, like. And I won't lie to you guys, at first, it was amazing. We had a really good time. My mom eventually adjusted to it, and I started showing her my new friends and taking her on everyone. until eventually around people I was with, she would be super mean to me but be super nice to them. And it became very evident. I would have conversations with my friends and they would point it out to me. And maybe me, I'm super nice, or people like to say I'm super nice, you know what I'm saying? And I just didn't see it because I didn't want to see it, you know? And to be quite honest, we were like glue. I was always at her house. Her stepmom was more accepting of me now that we were older, and I was just blind to it until I wasn't blind to it. Basically, like, I eventually had to speak to her because I started noticing it for myself, and it just got progressively worse from there. And unfortunately, I am running out of time. If you are interested, I am going to do a part 2 because there's no way I could fit this into 3 minutes.
I wasn't able to get part 2, but at the end of the day, that friendship seems draining. If someone's literally telling you that their mum's running their mouth about you, why would you want to be friends with them, and why are they talking about you to their mum? It's just weird, isn't it? Yet again, you have to trust what your mum says. You notice how remember how your mum was like, yeah, don't be friends with them, they're not a good friend? That's because mums know best. Sounds like her mum could have influenced her. Shake my head exactly. That person's mum's negativity is starting to seep onto them. I swear it's always the best friends. Exactly. And it's also the fact that she was talking about, you know, whenever she'd be out with groups of friends, how she was always mean to her but nice to them. I've noticed that has happened to me a lot. Sometimes whenever someone's making a joke, but it's kind of like, is it a joke or is it a dig? Is it like a dig kind of like covered as a joke? If a friend ever does make a joke about you in front of other people to make them laugh for your own misery, turn around to them and say, what do you mean by that joke? Because they can't sugarcoat it. Or maybe they will, because sometimes what people do is they'll make a comment and then based on the reaction they'll pretend if it was a joke or not. You know how someone's like, oh my god, you look so ugly. They'll be like, oh, I'm just joking, you know, being sarcastic. But then if people react badly, they'll be like, oh my god, you know, like I didn't mean that, you know, it's just us joking, blah blah blah. So yeah, them friends are like weird, they're fake.
Okay, does anyone else have a friend that just like doesn't like you?
If this topic was a subject in school, I promise I would have the highest GPA. I don't know why I always end up with some spiteful besties, but one thing about me, if you're not bringing me peace, I'm cutting you off. So instead of giving these nobodies a story time, I'm just gonna give y'all red flags and friends. So in no particular order, if you share an accomplishment with a friend and they're not happy for you, you should be scared. Number 2, if you have your own friends and your friend has their own friends, that's fine. But if your friend has a problem with you having your own friends while they have their own friends, babe, it's either we have it together or we don't. Why do you want what I have but I can't have what you have? Make it make sense. Number 3, boys. If you express interest in a guy and now all of a sudden this friend has affiliation with them, for example, oh, this guy's so cute, like I like him or I'm feeling him. Oh yeah, I know him, we used to talk. Or it'll be, oh yeah, we've kissed before. Or he's so nice, he messages me, like, or worst case scenario, they end up following each other or having each other on socials or just becoming friends in general. Like, why do you not have affiliation with this man after I expressed it?
All my past friendships.
Number 4, compliments. Compliments. Listen, don't ever expect compliments from anybody. You should be the person boosting yourself up the most. But if you have a friend that has the ability to compliment other people, their friends, people around them, whether it's on social media, in real life, and they can express that to you, that's really telling. That's very telling. Because if my friends look good, I'm going to tell them.
Exactly.
So, I look good. Why aren't you telling me? It sounds so shallow to say, but I'm telling you right now, if you have a friend like this, you should be keeping a close eye. Number 5, I think. But if you're out with this friend or maybe a group of friends and you get complimented and they try to like take away from that compliment by making a joke or just expressing something that would embarrass you,
I just spoke
or
about
even
this.
making you the butt of the joke or just making you feel dumb for saying things that are very normal, they're a bully. They are spiteful. Number 6. Let's say you have a new interest in something and you express it to this friend and they either 1, make you feel dumb for it, or 2, now they have the same interest but they have to have it better than you. They're competing with you. And this one should be obvious, but some girls seem to miss it for some reason. But for number 7, if y'all take pictures together and you clearly don't like the way you look in one of them, but they're like, oh, I look so good, and they still feel the need to post it, babe, they're trying to embarrass you. They want to embarrass you. I feel like there's so much that I'm missing, but I can't think of everything right now. So if you want to hear more red flags and friends, let me know.
I mean, she basically hit the nail on the head. That video sounded like all my past friendships. Yet again, the insulting thing where like they make jokes but make you the butt of the joke. One of my closest friends is an actor and she has some really big things coming. I was so happy for her. Like I was going on about it for days. I would not shut up about it. And it's like if something good is happening to you and your friends aren't there to boost you up and be like, oh my god, well done, well done, well done, then they're not really your friend, because like a friend does that. A fake friend doesn't do it. A fake friend will just not mention it. And when they disguise shit as a joke, exactly. Whenever they make a joke, they'll see how everyone reacts, and based on the reaction reaction, they will pretend if it was a joke or like if it wasn't a joke. That is a thing. I can't remember what it is. I've seen it on Twitter. But it's just so weird, isn't it? Also, gossiping about her other friends with you. It means she gossips about you and tell your business. Exactly. The only people me and my friend gossip about is people we don't like. And that's usually because they've both done something to us. But like if they gossip about their other friends, nah, cut them off because they'll be gossiping about you. It's a way I know someone who does all of them, cut them off immediately. Exactly. Also, something else that I've noticed is a friend who is like that will always have a lot of drama going on in their life. Now, this sounds bad, but sometimes they'll always talk about how someone's ill or they're feeling ill or like just, you know, drama. They'll be having so much drama, you'll literally be looking at them thinking, oh my god, Netflix need to write a 12-part series on you. Because it's like a lot of times they'll have drama. It's kind of like, I don't know, just like gossip and just like drama. It's like, how does someone have so much drama going on in their life?
You seen me tonight? I'm done talking, Tommy. You done talking? Mm-hmm. Me too. Alright. Check, please.
If you weren't able to read that TikTok, I'll read it out right now. When I confronted my friend who lied to me on my B-day and said she was broke so she could run my checkup. I'm not American, but I think that means whenever you pay for their food, you know, you pay for it. She does have a story time, so let's watch this story time.
Okay, y'all, let's get right into it. Let me tell y'all how I found out on my birthday that my friend was not my real friend. So basically, the day of my birthday, the plan was to go to a dinner at 7:30. We were supposed to meet up at the hotel that I paid for at 6:45. So my friend, which is friend A, she calls me and she's like, yeah, you know, I'm financially not able to, you know, come to your dinner. You know, I just am unable to come. And she was crying on the phone, boo-hooing and everything. And I was like, girl, you know, it's no problem. Like, we all gonna eat. Like, I would never do that. I will take care of you. I'll pay for you, no problem. So basically, fast forward to, you know, the time of us leaving at 6:45. So friend B was there with me getting dressed. Friend C said she was going to meet us at the, you know, dinner. Mind you, the dinner was set at 7:30. So 6:45 comes and we're waiting on friend A, which is the friend that I'm not friends with no more. But we're waiting on her. So we call her and we're like, yeah, you know, girl, where you at? And she's like, yeah, I'm running late. I still got to, you know, get dressed when I get to the hotel. And we're all like, you know, the reservation's at 7:30. Like, this is, I told these girls this, you know, days in advance.
Side rant, I cannot stand people who turn up to events late, whether that's dinner, lunch, FaceTime call. If you're late, you're a scumbag. There's a thing that like a lot of people think is kind of iconic where it's like fashionably late or whatever it is. It's like you turn up an hour late. Now, I'm so sorry, but if you turn up 10 minutes late, you're getting barred, you're not getting in.
So she comes to the hotel and when she comes, you know, she has this stink ass attitude. Like she really don't even want to speak. Like she don't even want to be here. So I'm like, what is her problem? Like, one, you making me late for my birthday dinner on my birthday and then giving me an attitude about it like I didn't tell you these plans previous. So anyways, you know, we get into the car. She, you know, gets dressed. She ended up making me late for my dinner. We didn't get there till 8 o'clock. So basically, you know, we get at the table. Mind you, friend A is who I'm paying for. Friend A also does not drink alcohol. She's a smoker. She does not drink alcohol at all. So the server comes to our table. You know, he does his big introduction. He's like, yeah, we have this, you know, cool, you know, cocktail that has smoke that comes out of it. You know, mind you, like I'm looking, I don't care about prices when I'm eating because it's my money. But it's like for her, it was like, I didn't feel like I needed to have that conversation. Like, don't break my pockets because this is a grown ass 25-year-old woman.
25.
So the waiter's like, you know, does anybody want a cocktail? I'm like, yeah, I'll have it. And this is a $20 cocktail. Why does friend A raise her hand and say, oh, I'll have one too? You know, I don't want you to drink alone on your birthday.
It's because it's your money being spent,
You're
not
gonna drink
hers.
with me on my birthday and I'm paying for it? And you don't even drink alcohol? Are you dumb? So anyways, the food comes out, whatever. And, you know, they give me a free drink because they messed my food up. And then she gonna tell the waiter, oh, I want one too. And we're all just like, what is wrong with this girl?
Exactly.
So, after that, like after the dinner was done, you know, the checks come out. My check was $71 by myself.
That's a lot.
So now, because she decided to run my checkup and get alcohol and not just food, my check went from $71 to me paying $200 for me and her combined. The reason how I knew that she really had money, she texted me the next day asking me for the plug's number. And then when I confronted her, she was upset and she felt disrespected on my birthday.
There were so many parts of that TikTok, I think we have to sit down and talk about it. First of all, she had financial problems. I don't care about that. You know, if I'm going out somewhere and I invite my friends, I'm fine to pay with you. But in a limit. You know, it's the fact that she was there. She had a bad attitude as well. And she made them late. How are you going to make your friend late for their own birthday dinner? And then, you know, whenever they were ordering the food, of course she was eating good because it's not her money being spent. She's spending her friend's money. It's like Monopoly money. It doesn't matter to her. I also find it interesting how she was ordering multiple drinks, which are like $20 each. Like, Lord almighty, that's expensive. Her original check was $70 and it went went up to like 200 because of a friend. You do realize that like the girl's paying for on her birthday. I'm all for paying for your friends and making them feel, you know, happy and included. But come on, it's good enough that you're paying for your friend's dinner and your birthday dinner. But it's the fact she got so much extra when she didn't need to. You paid in your birthday, you need new friends. Look, I'm gonna kind of disagree with that because I don't know her financial situation. For all we know, she could be very lucky. She could have a lot of money. Maybe for her, she doesn't matter. You know, she really cares for her friends. But what I'm irritated about is the fact friend who isn't a drinker got multiple drinks, made them late and just had a bad attitude. It's like that right there is not a friend. I feel like birthdays are when you find out who really with you. Also, whenever you're drinking, because think of it, if you get tipsy and then they completely change and, you know, act rude and just weird, or even ditch you, like, I'm so sorry. If you go out with your friends, you go out for drinks, do not ditch them. Don't do that. That's so bad. I just can't get over the fact that she treated you like that on your birthday as well. She was in competition with you. Exactly, she was jealous. She never actually cared for you. She was jealous of you and wanted to be you. Okay, so that was part 1. We're now gonna watch part 2 because there's more to the story.
I really just try to make it really one part. But when I tried to confront her about all of these things, basically we get back to the hotel and it was snowing real bad. So one of my friends, you know, she ended up going home and the other friend ended up going home. So I was left in the hotel with the friend A, who I didn't want to be in my space no more. So I really just got frustrated and I was like, you know, irritated. And I just didn't want her to be around me because when we got to the hotel, she just was like, a Jay's calling my name. A Jay's calling my name. Like, I gotta smoke. And I'm like, girl, you acting like you burnt out right now. Like, I'm trying to get drunk, play drinking games, and you worried about everything that you want to do. So when I confronted sis about it, she was like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I honestly feel disrespected, and I look at you a different way now. Now, if 2 + 2 = 4, I don't understand why she would feel some type of way when she made me late for my birthday dinner, gave me attitude, ran up my check, and stayed in a luxury hotel on me. Everything was paid for by me, the birthday girl. And when I confronted her and I was telling her, like, you know, you're just dead ass wrong. Like, and I was like, you know, you're my sis, you know, I love you. Like, I would never think for you to do this to me. This girl gonna say, you talking about you love me and you my sis, but I don't even got no sister. I said, oh, word? I said, you know what? You got me and you got my money, the little chump change that you really needed because you're so broke. You can go ahead and keep that. You got it. And I just told her, have a great life. And I left that hoe alone because I have already seen red flags about her and how she uses people. She is an opportunist.
You should never ignore them.
And one thing about me, I hate people like that. And I would never in my life, if I was on somebody's birthday, say like to my friend, like, you know, I can't afford to pay, I'm going to get the cheapest. We was literally paying for water at this restaurant. The restaurant was so damn high class that they was escorting us to the bathroom. Sis, you didn't even have money to tip. So I had to tip like $70 for both of us. So it's just like, you feel some type of way? And she just was trying to just be the victim and it wasn't going nowhere. And it was going to get to the point where I was either going to start getting disrespectful or just leave this hoe alone. And I decided to leave that hoe alone. Leave that broke hoe alone. As a grown-ass woman about to be 26 and I'm 22, you need to do better.
She's like your granny. I'm so sorry, but you're 22 and she's nearly 26. She's acting like that. She's gonna be a granny soon. Yet again, she does seem like an opportunist friend. She's only friends with you if it helps her. And yet again, in America, if you go somewhere, you have to tip. That's something I'm so happy we don't have in Northern Ireland. Like, if I go to a restaurant, I do have to tip. Imagine literally paying $200 for you and your friend and then having to tip even more. Nah, that is too much. That's a nightmare. But you know, thank God you cut her off in the end. If somebody's paying for me, I will legit find the cheapest thing that's common courtesy, shake my head. Exactly, and also I wonder if she was ever gonna pay you back. Because I've been in situations like that where, you know, you pay for someone's dinner and then they're like, oh, I'll pay you back next week. You never get the money. You're never gonna say the money is invisible. It's an unspoken rule. If someone is offering to pay for you, your tab should be less than their food and you don't drink. Exactly. Like, the thing that winds me up and irritates me is the fact that she got loads and loads of drinks when she doesn't even drink. Like, it doesn't make sense. And it's the fact you even paid for the hotel and dinner on your birthday, then friends gotta go. I mean, in the end, she did get rid of that friend, thank God. But you wanna know something? You might have had a crap birthday, but happy birthday to you from me. Well, anyways, guys, that's some besties who were not your bestie. Moral of the story, if a friend is draining and you feel like they're using you and you ignore the red flags and food you shouldn't, just cut them off. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're a piss bag, subscribe and see you all tomorrow for another video.